I tried to recreate Lego Minecraft sets in actual Minecraft. Minecraft has had a few commercial endeavours, some not working out too great, and some being absolutely brilliant. And one of those, in my opinion, is Lego Minecraft. And because these Lego Minecraft sets are based off of the game, I wanted to see if these builds are accurate to something that could be built in-game. I selected 3 Lego Minecraft sets, one from its very first release, one from the most recent release of Lego Minecraft, and one that looked easy and low effort to build. We'll be ranking these recreations based off of 3 things. Number 1, accuracy to the game in regards to scaling and the possibility of the set being genuinely built by a person. 2, general appearance. Is it nice to look at? 3, realism. Is it something that would be realistically built by a player? So the first set I started off with was the most recent one of the 3, the Lego Training Grounds. The general gist of the set appears to me that it is based off of age and architecture, going off of the lovely cherry blossom tree and these little sticky uppy bits on the side. And of course, it's released in 2022. So you know that they've got to include some caves and cliff stuff in there that helps tell it all. So let's get to work, shall we? So after cleaning out a lovely area to start construction, I got to work. Based off of the fact that one Lego figurine takes up 2 studs worth of space, I deduced that 1 block in game equals 2 2x2 stud Lego brick. I don't know the terminology. I started with the very front of the build, with this lovely representation of a flowering azalea tree, but I already had to break the set design as azalea can only be placed on moss, whereas in the set, it was positioned on this lovely representation of stone. I continued with the very bottom of the set. I made sure I used some barrier blocks to represent the water terrain represented around it, and further continued the patterns of the seemingly randomized texture at the bottom of the set. Slapped an armor stand on early to give the build a sense of direction, and then had to further break the rules of what was possible by using this barrel with an item frame on it to represent this little crate here. And while it's in the wrong place according to the official images, for some reason, every other reference I saw for it had it in a different blooming place. But to be fair, it makes no sense just lingering outside anyways. And now it was time for the top of the cavern bit here. I had to further break my observation of each brick being 1 block, as this thing got way too high, until I had an ingenious plan. I could use stone slabs instead! And with that, the scaling was as accurate as it could have been by Minecraft standards. Not by Lego standards, however. So after further utilising even more barrier blocks of water, the first segment was now complete. Now, it was time for the temple. The temple was constructed using these odd parts here, which I figured were birch trapdoors, and this odd colour up here, which based off of the fact that these are clearly stair variants, I deduced as crimson planks. So, with this newfound knowledge, I erected the walls, having to once again break the Lego set because, let's be honest, leaving a gap here like the set does just looks absolutely hideous. And then, after recreating the roof and assuming these top parts here were dark oak fences, I had finished my first replication of a Lego Minecraft set. I had to break a few of the rules of Lego Minecraft to construct it, but it definitely looks like something a player would build. In terms of practicality though, I mean, who has their furnace and their crafting table in different living areas? 8 out of 10. Next up was an old set, The First Night. It was released in 2014 and was a set that I currently own. It's in pieces though, but I mean, here's the evidence I did own it at some point. It's a simple green top house with a door that appears to be twice as wide as the player and twice the player's height. But regardless, I started off with the grass on the far left of the build, utilising coarse dirt for these brown sticky outfits in order to make sure that the dirt didn't accidentally turn into grass. But problems were destined to arrive when I started the house. Firstly, to represent the large doors, I just had to slap 2 of them together, but now have this glass on the side to worry about, which based on the depth, I figured were glass panes. But then it had fences next to them, which led to this hideous predicament. Furthermore, the green top rooftop couldn't even be higher than 2 blocks, because once again, of the depth of the Lego set. So even once this thing was finished, it would be an injustice if I gave it any more than a 4 out of 10, because the scaling to a real Minecraft player is completely off. It doesn't look particularly appealing, and honestly, the Lego version looks far better. And with a green top like that, and a label known as The First Night, I genuinely think it would be more appropriate if they just built a mountain and slapped a door on it, because that's what I believe most first nights in Minecraft are, my own included. And finally, the last set I decided to recreate was the wool farm. This set contains a lovely sheep build with a tiny bit of terrain, so I obviously started off with the terrain first, which was actually quite accurate to what possible in-game Minecraft terrain could look like. Similarly to the training ground, I also utilised more barrier blocks in order to represent the water. But what about these stones? They're completely the wrong size! Unless I use stone stairs. Let's go! And I finally had to finish off with the sheep structure, which I could genuinely and accurately represent almost equally inside of Minecraft. This set, I was able to pretty much entirely recreate within the game. But there are little size errors. The sheep looks roughly the same height to a real player as it does to a Lego player. And overall, a true accurate representation of a Minecraft build. 10 out of 10. Hit the subscribe button, and I'll try to recreate my own Minecraft world into Lego!